obviously, shots landed to score points. And so I think just my entrances are too much explode, jump in and grab people, which work great for MMA. I see now that that's harder to pull off in boxing, because even when you land the one shot, I clinch afterwards and look for knees and body work and takedowns. So I'm happy that if I could come in and catch Cunningham with a shot, when I go back to MMA, that conversion will do me well. So I think as far as building up my MMA striking, this an A+. As far as trying to do the things that I've been trying to train myself to do, those more boxing, I didn't. You know what I mean? I didn't come behind triple jabs and double jabs. I kind of did the old just 1, 2, and then come behind that. Which for some boxers that works, like a John Ruiz type, but I didn't make it work as well.
Great. All right. First media question coming from Donna Corby.
Frank, first off, I want to say I'm writing for an MMA outlet, and I want to say that was an incredible showing for the MMA community. Probably the best performance in a crossover fight that we have seen. Talk to me about what's next for you. Are you going to go back to Bellator? Are you going to go back to mixed martial arts? And when's the time frame for that?
Well, I have BKFC that I'm trying to get a fight in also now. And then as far as MMA, I'm not with Bellator anymore. Okay. So, I'm open to ventures there. One of my other trainers, Carl Prince, over in Manchester, we're talking about possibly doing some things over there. So just keeping my ear to the ground. Obviously, first round management, hopefully will find me something. Before I retire, I'm fighting on the same card as my daughter, which she's doing MMA. So MMA is definitely still in the future. Being a part of this Triller experience was unreal. I mean, I've been a part of some big cards in the UFC, and I have to say this might have been the most epic thing I've ever been a part of. So, see if Triller, I could do another one with them. And maybe even if they, they can add another rope at the bottom and we could do an MMA fight.
You've been hit by some of the hardest hitters with those little 4-ounce gloves in mixed martial arts. Fedor, pretty recently, Roy Nelson, Mark Hunt. The list is endless. Where does Steve Cunningham rank? Obviously, the gloves are different, but where does he rank in terms of the harder hitters you've faced?
Well, no, I mean, obviously getting hit with a 4-ounce glove compared to a 10, it's not a fair comparison. But as far as speed-wise, Cunningham was the fastest guy I've ever fought, where it was weird where I'm like, I'm used to being a pretty quick heavyweight. But still, some of the shots he was able to land from the outside and stuff, really, his head movement too. That's the one thing that I'm having the hardest thing converting over. In MMA, if we move our head the way that Cunningham moved, our feet are still there, so I can grab singles, doubles, and I can also, after throwing that first punch, if someone makes you slip that much, you can kick the leg. So many times tonight when Steve was slipping, you probably can see I'm looking down at his leg going, there's a sweep, there's a chop, and I can't throw it. So that also made it kind of difficult.
All right, thank you. Next up is Jeremy York.
Finally good to talk to you there, Frank. I'm going to echo what he said as well. I think this is one of the better performances we've seen, not only in a crossover, but I think you held up well with a world-class boxer as Cunningham.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And that's really, honestly, that took a lot of pressure off me going into this fight. I wanted to represent mixed martial arts, saying, hey, we're also very good at boxing. Obviously, it was a pretty heavy task to sit there and go, I'm going to beat a boxer in my very first fight that's a world champion who's been in those world champions in a boxing match. But honestly, and I had said this going into it, and I stand true to my words, if I lost a 6-round decision but boxed well, that was preferable to catching Steve in the first 30 seconds. Look, I'm 275 pounds. If I would have caught him with a shot and dropped him, I don't think I'd have proved anything. Besides the fact, you had a 70-pound weight advantage and you hit hard. That wouldn't do well for the MMA community. I feel like going out there and going all 6 rounds and showing proficiency was a better statement.
All right, next we have Gabriel Gonzalez.
Hey, Frank. First off, just to echo everyone else, great performance and great showing for the MMA community. I was wondering, can you talk to us what it was like from your standpoint waiting for it? Because over here on watching the broadcast, there was a lot of music. I mean, are you over there hearing Doja Cat and everybody in the locker room? Or what was it like for you just waiting for your fight after the previous one?
It was strange, I mean, it was, like I said, this was probably the most epic thing I've ever been a part of as far as just how complex the whole apparatus was. But, Peter and Melissa Henricks did a phenomenal job doing the most that they could try. And I mean, you have production crews here, you have fight crew here, and we're all trying to intermingle. It was very interesting, though. Again, I'm in the back, sitting there lined up, ready to walk out. People are playing music videos, or I felt like something out of a movie set, to be honest with you. Like, I'm like, this isn't real. This is something that, you know, if someone was trying to make a movie about a fight career, this is how they would depict it. And if I was watching, I'd be like, that's not realistic at all. And lo and behold, that's what we're a part of right now.
And finally, I have Boxing Social.
Ames here for Boxing Social in association with Bedford. Frank, you're very open about wanting challenges and loving challenges in life. Was your entry into boxing the challenge you expected it to be? And also, could I ask you, you weighed in 70 pounds heavier than your opponent. Do you think maybe if you came in a little bit lighter, it might have affected your performance in a better sense?
I mean, no. I feel that right now with the lifting I'm doing, my last body fat check, I was like 16, 17% body fat. So what's best for me is to do this. And I know that might sound like a defeatist mindset. I didn't want to be good at boxing at the sacrifice of my MMA stand-up. I'm doing this to be a component of so when I fight as an MMA fighter, I'm a better MMA fighter with my hands. I've kind of done that with my jiu-jitsu. When I do jiu-jitsu matches, you don't see me use a lot of different guards that a lot of other guys will use because you can't use them in an MMA fight. I want to stick to things that I can cross over. Is that always going to put me in a deficit? Yeah. You know, being 275 with my strength is an asset in an MMA fight. Every time I would have clinched Cunningham in an MMA fight, my size would have been an advantage. So for me to strip down and get to 245 so that I was a faster boxer, that would have been unrealistic because then I'm not going to be able to take that with me into my MMA career. And ultimately, again, I'm like a decathlete, and I went with the sprinters. I'm not going to take away from my other events to make me a sprinting specialist because, let's face it, I'll never be the best boxer in the world. I look to be one of the most complete mixed martial artists, and that's what I was trying to prove tonight. And that's what my lifelong goal is.
Frank, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Steve, congratulations on this great victory. Frank Mir was a whole lot harder than I think anybody expected in terms of an opponent for you.
He was surprising in areas, but like Brother Nazim would say, this ain't a new walk. You know, it's nothing new I haven't seen. You know, so we got in there, made the adjustments, and did what we had to do.
He was so much bigger than you. I think he came in 70 pounds heavier. Could you feel that weight in the clinch? Could you feel that and also that great grappling skill that he takes over from the mixed martial arts world when you're in close? Could you feel that the size and the grappling and everything like that?
Oh yeah, indeed. He grip you up real tight. But after like the third round, it was kind of like he was kind of like beat, and I was able to walk him backwards. But still, no, you can feel the girth. His girth was on me, so I had to lean and work, do my best. But you still get some good shots in. But man, that dude is big.
Great, thank you. Next up, Gabriel Gonzalez.
Hey, Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Steve, my first question, and I asked Frank this, what was the experience like for you backstage? Because here from watching it, there's about an hour of music that we're listening to. Are you hearing all of that while you're waiting to walk out? What was the experience for you back there?
We're watching it on the television. We kept getting told we're coming out this time, then it's 15 minutes later, then it's 2 hours later, and it's like an hour later, and we're like, what? You know, we're already wrapped up, started warming up. Then the girl comes back and says, 45 minutes. And we're like, what in the world? It's different, you know, it's different because it's entertainment. It's way more entertainment than just boxing alone, you know? So it's something that we'll take getting used to if I fight again, but, and I'll be ready for next time if I fight again with Triller. But it was a bit uncomfortable because when you're ready to rumble, you're ready to rumble.
To ask you one final one, I feel like there's sometimes a bit of this rivalry, the boxing guys versus the MMA guys. Frank coming over, I mean, what do you say about the way he represented for the MMA fighters in terms of crossing over a little bit?
No, I mean, he represented beautifully, you know, as a champion, you know, as a champion should. That's a challenge. He saw a challenge, he wanted to take it, and he did that. He gave his best effort. He landed a couple good shots. Shooting the last round, he caught me with a body shot. I was like, woo, you know. He is hard. He's in good condition to be that big. My hat goes off to Frank, man. He's a standout guy. I love his family. Got to meet his family and talk to him. We have so many similarities in our family, and man, I got mad respect for Frank.
Next up is Jeremy York.
Good to meet you, Steve. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir.
I'll kind of ask it in a two-part. What goes into preparing for such an unorthodox opponent like Frank, who comes from a completely different, side of combat sports? And also, is there something on the horizons or somebody maybe you want to face off with next, whether it be Triller, whether it be any of the other forms of combat?
What goes into training for a guy like Frank? Just keeping it true to form. That I've been doing this 20 years. So you guys seen who I've been in the ring with. I've been in the ring with the best. I've sparred with guys like from Vladimir Klitschko to Larry Donalds. It's not a new walk for me, but there was a bit of surprise, that could happen because he's an MMA guy. MMA guys throw different combos. They do different, but Frank tried to stick true to boxing as best he could, and he did a good job. I mean, but he's up there against two-time world champion, man, and I just did what I had to do. What was that second part of the question?
Second question was, what do you see on the horizon for you? Whether it's another boxing match with Triller, or is there another project you want to dive into?
I mean, listen, I understand my position in boxing. I'm 40. I'll be 45 in a few months. And I've done it. I've got 2 world titles, USBA heavyweight title. I've been around the world. Classic fights is floating around on television, on the internet. I mean, I'm not going after any world titles anymore. If another UFC MMA guy want to come out the woodwork, or Bones Jones, anybody, they want to come out and challenge in the boxing ring, I'm here. I'm ready. We can do it on Triller. We can make it happen. Any of them.
Next up is Boxing Social.
Ames here for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Steve, I don't know if you were aware, but that we, the viewers, we got to hear Oscar De La Hoya on commentary for the fight. It was very entertaining. Could you hear Oscar from the ring at all?
No, I didn't, but I did give him a nod. He's a legend, man. I love Oscar, man. He doesn't even know it.
You said in the lead up to this fight, you were treating the fight as if you were in the ring with Tyson Fury again. Did you feel that mindset helped you?
Yeah, because I mean, excuse me, I got a little cough. That's like the spirit of Brother Nazim. If Brother Nazim was here, we would have had a hard, full, deep training camp like we was fighting for a world championship. That's the way we were brought up. Take no one light. Underestimate nobody. This, especially somebody's heavier and bigger than you in this heavyweight division. It only takes one punch. It's over. Frank Mir hits hard. I got caught a couple times. So with me having that mindset from Brother Nazim, training was intense. Training was real. Yeah, Frank Mir, this is his first boxing match, but still, he's a man trying to beat me, and I can't let that happen.
How do you assess your performance in the fight? You seem to be picking shots well, but in singles for the most part, and then the combinations came later on to the fight. What do you think Frank did well to kind of stop you from, putting more of a dent in him?
I mean, he had this, he would rush in with his punches. So, I would try to catch him coming in. I did a few times, and he slowed him down a bit, hit his body a bit more. But what Frank, timed me up. Timing me up is like in eating up some of the clock. Like, hey, woo, bro, and I mean, what else could he do? I'm ready for the world,
In comparison, you got this win. In comparison to the rest of the career of your career, where do you rate this win?
I mean, this was a good win for me because I had 3 years off. This is my first fight in 3 years. And to tell you guys the truth, I got bronchitis. That's why I'm coughing. I was at the doctor's the other day, man, getting medicine. I have bronchitis, so. But I'm still gonna fight. Got my family here. I push. I'm a warrior. I'm a champion. And where I rank it, I mean, it's a good fight. It was good. It was good to get back in there and see me go to action. But I mean, really, let's keep it real. Frank Mir is not a boxer. He's an MMA guy, and but he did his best. So I can't rank this high, but the stage is a big one. This Triller stage is awesome.
And do you feel that pressure when it comes to in these sort of fights? It's perceived as the boxer versus MMA fighter, and if the boxer loses, then they're going to get a lot of ridicule. So do you bear that pressure on you, and you're relieved in a sense to have got through with the win?
Heck yeah, man! Who wants to be that guy? Who wants to be that two-time world champion who Tyson Fury says is his hardest fight, amateur or pro, that loses to an MMA guy in his first fight? Nah, man, I felt that pressure the whole time. And I'm not gonna let that happen. I'd rather jump out the ring before they say that decision. Oh, hell, I'm out of here. I don't want to hear it.
And next I have Hans with Boxing Insider.
Hey Steve, how you doing? Hope my background doesn't sound too loud, does it?
Nah, you good.
All right, cool. So I know when I was talking to you, alluded to it, you were just like, there's no way in hell you're about to lose to an MMA guy or anything like that. But how do you feel about the performance? Just in terms of, do you feel that you made the boxing community proud? I know you was talking about boxing was on your back for tonight, so do you feel like you made them proud?
I think so. I mean, yeah. My plan was, it wasn't to come out here and blow him out the water and kill him. I have compassion. You know what I mean? I wanted to do what we did. Hit his body, test his body, slow him down because he's big. Catch him with some clean shots coming in because we knew after a while he was just going to have to jump in and just work the jab a little bit and just have fun. This is a huge stage. I want the world to see me again. So I didn't mind going around. It wasn't about stopping Frank Mir. You know what I mean? I know people wanted me to kill him, but no, it wasn't about stopping him. It was just about me, picking my shots and just having fun.
Steve, thank you and congratulations.
All right. Thank you, guys.